What's up, y'all? It's your man, Dead Dude, bringing you guys another video. My channel is now to 150 subscribers, and that may not seem like a lot, but it's a lot to me. So I just want to thank you guys for the support. And if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed and you're still inclined, go hit that button. And also, while you're down there, smash that thumbs up and leave a comment. I respond to almost everything. Now, getting into this video, one critique I have heard a lot on the local radio in the Charlotte area of the Panthers from their loss against the Browns is that they didn't utilize Christian McCaffery enough. They didn't give him enough touches. He only had 14 touches in that game, which is a sharp decline from when he was getting 30 or 35 touches a game. But this critique is very interesting to me because when Christian McCaffery was getting 30 or 35 touches a game, he was getting hurt and he wasn't finishing the season. And a lot of people were criticizing the Panthers for using him as much as they did. So now that he only got 14 touches, which I would want to give him a few more touches than that, but I'm largely okay with that amount of touches. That 15 to 20 area, I think, is a good area to be in. I'm okay with him only getting 14 touches in that game. That's not a bad number to me because now the Panthers have way more skill on the offense than what they did. And most importantly, they have a better quarterback than they've had the past few years. Yeah, when you have Sam Darnold or you have Teddy Bridgewater out there, you maybe have to give Christian McCaffrey the ball 30 or 35 times because you can't rely on the quarterback to make plays. Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, is at least a very serviceable quarterback. You can give him the ball. You can put the ball in Baker's hands, and you can rely on him to make plays. Now, he didn't have a great game against the Browns until the fourth quarter, but we have 4 years of evidence that says Baker Mayfield can be very good. He can do some positive things to your offense. He can make very reliable routine throws, which is more than what you can say for Sam Darnold. So now that you still have DJ Moore. You have Robbie Anderson, who is still a good number 2 receiver. You have Shi Smith, who has shown that he can play in this league. You have Deontay Foreman you traded for in the offseason, who is a very good backup running back. You still have Chuba Hubbard, who showed some promise as a rookie. You have some talent on this roster. You have Tommy Tremble, who the Panthers are still very high on. Ian Thomas had that long catch against the Browns for almost a touchdown, and the Panthers organization seems to be very high on. They have talent on this roster where you no longer have to rely on giving Christian McCaffrey the ball 30 or 35 times a game. They also just traded for Laviska Shenault, who, while he didn't factor into the Browns game, you got to believe as the season goes on and he learns his offense, he'll factor more and more into what this team is doing week to week. He'll get some gadget plays here and there. He'll do some of the things that McCaffrey can do, which again limits the amount of touches that you want to give McCaffrey. Yes, McCaffrey is your best player on offense, but part of the value with him now is that he can be a decoy now. You can have McCaffrey on the field and you can be effective without getting the ball. You can motion him out. You can do different things with him off the play action and stuff like that where you make the defense think you're going to get the ball to McCaffrey and you don't. You use him as an effective decoy. You look at players, while it's a different position, you look at Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is a very effective player even when he doesn't get the ball because the defense always has to account for him. McCaffrey can do a similar thing for the Panthers. He can make the defense have to account for him, have to dedicate a few players to stop him, even when he's not getting the ball, which opens up space for other players, which allows other players to operate, get the ball in more advantageous positions, and gain more yards from there, and just overall help the offense more. Even though you're not giving the ball to your best player is still helping you out because he's your best player, which Christian McCaffrey is. Like, he's a better player than Baker Mayfield, hands down. He's a better running back than DJ Moore is a receiver. And DJ Moore's still a very good receiver, but when healthy, Christian McCaffrey is arguably the best running back in the league. So he can still help your offense without you giving him 30 to 35 carries a game. That is just unnecessary to me. And it's not, for me, it's not even a matter of keeping him healthy. I'm not saying don't give him that many carries because he might get hurt. I'm saying don't give him that amount of carries, that amount of touches, because I think it limits your offense. You have all these other weapons you can use to dedicate that much to one player. That lessens what DJ Moore can do. That lessens what Robbie Anderson can do. That lessens what Tommy Tremble or Ian Thomas can do. That lessens what Baker Mayfield can do. If you're giving the ball to McCaffrey 30 to 35 times a game, that means you're probably not allowing Baker Mayfield to work all 3 levels of the field. He's probably doing a lot of short passes to McCaffrey and then some slants or, out routes, stuff like that to DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson. But if McCaffrey's getting 30 to 35 carries a game, you're not allowing Baker Mayfield to go out there, read the defense, audible to a play that he thinks will allow him to attack the defense at all levels of the field, which is what you want. You want your quarterback doing that, and Baker Mayfield has the ability to do that. So while Christian McCaffery is the Panthers' best player on offense, you don't have to give him the ball 30 to 35 times a game. You don't have to run them into the ground for the offense to be successful anymore. There was a time where if the Panthers are going to gain yards, the only way they were going to do it is by giving Christian McCaffery the ball over and over again. That time is over. You're not going to win very many games doing it that way. It's just not a time-tested formula in the modern NFL. Yeah, there was a time when giving your running back the ball over and over again and playing smash mouth football could win you a lot of games. That is not the case anymore, especially not with the way the Panthers team is constructed. When you're a team like what the Titans were, a couple of years ago, where you have a great offensive line and you have Derrick Henry, then sure, you can run them over and over again, and that might get you to the playoffs. But when you get to the playoffs, that kind of limits what you're able to do because your offense isn't versatile enough to play from behind. It's not dynamic enough to play from behind or to compete with a high-scoring offense like the Chiefs or the Bills. But with the Panthers, they don't have the offensive line that the Titans had. And also, again, that if you're relying on your running back a lot, that really limits what your offense can be. You have to open up your offense to everyone, especially your quarterback, and allow your quarterback to be the driving force of what your offense is. And Baker Mayfield can do that. While I don't think he's great, he can be dynamic in an offense where he is surrounded with talent. And the Panthers offense, I think, it's not the most talented offense in the league. It's not like the Panthers have 3 number 1 receivers and an amazing tight end. But they have a very good receiver. They have Robbie Anderson, who is a good number 2. In the role that he's in, he fits that role well. You have Shi Smith, who is coming on as a solid NFL receiver, I believe. I think that is someone who the Panthers found a gem in the late round. If he hadn't got hurt last year, he probably would have showed that last year that he belongs in the NFL. Again, Tommy Tremble, Ian Thomas, while not great tight ends, they are tight ends that you have to account for. They are at least threats to the defense. You don't have to rely on Christian McCaffery anymore to move the ball. It just isn't something the Panthers no longer or have to do any longer because it is not a recipe for long-term success. That's all I have for you on this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go hit that thumbs up. And if you're so inclined, hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. I respond to almost everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one.